Well, if you are from Fort Collins, if you are an original, 1960s, when my folks came around town, everybody knew each other and everyone was from Fort Collins. But today, I think locals are kind of a rare breed. And we've got today my buddy Chris Murphy and myself that are starting Fort Collins Fellas, the podcast. And this is going to be a podcast that's going to talk to you about different perspectives, as we're going to have interviewees that have different backgrounds, the CEO of the chamber, current mayors, former mayors, business owners, entrepreneurs, artists, you name it. We're going to get lots of different perspectives about all things Fort Collins. So this podcast is going to be brought to you guys twice a month. We're going to release it every other week or so. We'll do one interview and one deep dive into a specific topic, whether that be CSU campus or a huge development like Montava or different issues that are coming up through city council. But ultimately, our intention is to bring you guys tons and tons of value, information, and perspectives. So Chris and I are excited to bring this to you. And I wanted to do a quick introduction for myself and for Chris, but why don't you, Chris, introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, what you're about, and what they can expect from you moving forward.
Patrick, thanks so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm super excited to start this amazing adventure. And, just a little background on myself. I am born and raised Poudre Valley Hospital right here. And so, very proud about that. I did move away. So I am, one of those. I went to California for about 16, 17 years. About 5 years ago, I moved back with my wife. And so I always remember when I came back, I always thought, oh man, I forgot how big the mountains were. That was my first thought when I came back. But, just a little bit of background on myself. Like right now, I'm the residential mortgage officer here in Fort Collins. But prior to that, this is actually my third career. When I went out to California, lived in Los Angeles, I worked for NBC Studios for 7 years. And then I became a golf pro, naturally. That's what you do, right? You go from NBC Studios to a golf pro. And so I did that for 10 years. Worked at Los Angeles Country Club, the Cow Club in San Francisco. And then, I did the next step and became a mortgage officer. So these are all, everybody does this, right? So it's been great to be back. It's wonderful. All those times that I was away, coming back to Fort Collins, it's amazing how much I appreciate this town and everything it did for me growing up. And, like Patrick said, one of the things that we're going to do with this podcast and YouTube channel is just bring value and education to Fort Collins. And I think that Fort Collins, and you made a great point when you're starting this, like it's Boulder. Everybody knows Boulder, right? But Fort Collins, I think, is going to be right there, one step behind. And the conversations that we have with people moving into town and everything like that. And so I'm super excited to sit down with some of these amazing guests and just let everybody know what Fort Collins is all about and hear it from people that know it best. And I think, some of our first guests are going to get that amazing knowledge, amazing value. And Patrick, I can't wait to do this with you, buddy. It's going to be great. And I'm just going to turn it back over to you and let you tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
No, definitely excited. We've been working on this for a couple months now, that maybe even longer than that, just kind of a small little idea developed into something that now is real. And one thing that I think both you and I are all about is when we start something, we don't stop. And so starting this, I'm super excited. Many of you may know that I've got a YouTube channel, Living in Fort Collins, that I've been running for about 2 years now and absolutely love doing what I'm doing. I too was born and raised here in Fort Collins, Poudre Valley Hospital. My kids were also born at Poudre Valley Hospital, and we are raising them here. Went to CSU, graduated a Ram, and went to high school at Fort Collins High School, the Lampkins. So
that's right.
Go Lampkins, baby.
Go Lampkins.
And so, from there, I graduated CSU with a degree in accounting and jumped right into real estate, mostly on the investment side, and started buying investment properties, managing them mostly myself. And then I had a real estate license to kind of save some money on the buy and sell of some of my properties, and kind of organically moved into more of a traditional real estate agent when friends and family started asking me to help them. So I've been doing brokerage since 2013, started my own company in 2016, and the YouTube channel was a COVID baby. It generated and started when there was a shutdown, not much left to do. looking over at kind of the chalkboard that I remember painting with my family one night, and knowing that it was going to be something that I was just going to have fun with. And, fast forward 2 years, we're sitting here at this podcast and being a resource and understanding that, kind of having this born and raised mentality from Fort Collins, and knowing, riding your bike from Warren Lake to the mall, and, how crappy that mall was and what's going on, and just different things that people might not necessarily know if they haven't spent, 30 to 40 years here in town, and using that knowledge and helping people understand Fort Collins. And if they're moving here, great. Maybe this is a great opportunity for them to learn that much more about a community that they are considering joining. So I'm super excited about what this is going to be and who we're going to have on, because I think between the two of us, we know some pretty cool people. And I think as this grows and as this evolves, we'll continue to get more and more people that are just, movers and shakers here in Fort Collins. So I'm super stoked, and I'm glad and honored that you'll be, joining me on this ride.
Oh, I appreciate it. And one of the things when you said that, I was thinking of when I was growing up, I lived on County Road 9, which is now Ziegler. And across the street was a cornfield. We literally would go into a cornfield. And now it's, houses and everything like that. So it's amazing to see the growth. And, people are hearing about Fort Collins. It's not so much off the radar anymore. And I think that it's important that we put out this content. Everybody, you'll get those pushbacks of, hey, we're going too fast and too many people are coming here. And my response to that is, you're about 15 years too late. This has been going on a long time. And so, Patrick, let's have a good time, and we're going to learn a lot, and hopefully the viewers and everything get a ton of value out of this.
100%. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy the ride, everybody.